Question 1. What was the purpose of the Clarendon Code? A. To define the maritime laws of the UK. B. To establish the supremacy of Anglicanism. C. To regulate trade with the colonies. D. To reform the education system. Answer. B. To establish the supremacy of Anglicanism. The Clarendon Code was a series of laws in the 1660s that aimed to secure the position of the re-established Church of England, disenfranchising nonconformists and reinforcing Anglican orthodoxy. Question 2. Name the agreements that established the UK's constitutional monarchy. A. The Magna Carta and the Bill of Rights. B. The Glorious Revolution and the Act of Settlement. C. The Treaties of Union and the Commonwealth Charter. D. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicles and the Domesday Book. Answer. B. The Glorious Revolution and the Act of Settlement. These agreements helped lay the foundation for the UK's constitutional monarchy by outlining the rights of Parliament and limits on the powers of the Crown. Question 3. Who was the UK Prime Minister during the Suez Crisis? A. Winston Churchill. B. Anthony Eden. C. Harold Wilson. D. Margaret Thatcher. Answer. B. Anthony Eden. Anthony Eden was the Prime Minister during the Suez Crisis of 1956, a major international incident that diminished Britain's influence on the world stage. Question 4. Describe the impact of the Glorious Revolution on the British monarchy. A. It abolished the monarchy permanently. B. It strengthened the divine right of kings. C. It restricted the monarch's power and enhanced parliamentary power. D. It led to the UK withdrawing from European affairs. Answer. C. It restricted the monarch's power and enhanced parliamentary power. The Glorious Revolution of 1688 led to the deposition of James II and the establishment of a constitutional monarchy under William III and Mary II, significantly shifting power towards Parliament. Question 5. What is the Salisbury Doctrine and its significance in the legislative process? A. It relates to the handling of foreign diplomats. B. It ensures that the House of Lords does not block legislation that has clear support in the House of Commons. C. It mandates public voting for all legislation. D. It allows the monarchy to veto legislation. Answer. B. It ensures that the House of Lords does not block legislation that has clear support in the House of Commons. The Salisbury Doctrine maintains the primacy of the elected House of Commons in the legislative process. Question 6. Detail the reforms brought about by the Great Reform Act of 1832. A. It provided universal suffrage for all citizens. B. It eliminated rotten boroughs and extended the franchise to more men. C. It separated church and state. D. It established the modern Conservative and Liberal parties. Answer. B. It eliminated rotten boroughs and extended the franchise to more men. The Great Reform Act of 1832 was a pivotal moment in British electoral reform, widening the voter base and addressing corrupt practices. Question 7. Who were the Chartists and what did they advocate? A. A group advocating for the abolition of the monarchy. B. Medieval reformers focused on agricultural laws. C. Activists who sought a wide range of political reforms, including universal male suffrage. D. Diplomats who designed the UK's foreign policy strategy. Answer: C. Activists who sought a wide range of political reforms, including universal male suffrage. The Chartists were a working-class movement in the 19th century that sought to expand democratic rights. Question 8. What were the main causes of the English Civil War? A. Disputes over colonial territories. B. Religious differences and power struggles between Parliament and the monarchy. C. Economic depression and labour strikes. D. The assassination of a monarch. Answer: B. Religious differences and power struggles between Parliament and the monarchy. The English Civil War was primarily driven by conflicts over how the country should be governed and issues of religious freedoms, culminating in war between supporters of the King and Parliament. Question 9. Explain the significance of the Battle of Britain in World War II. A. It marked the first defeat of Hitler's military forces. B. It was a crucial aerial conflict that prevented Germany from invading Britain. C. It resulted in the UK surrendering to German forces. D. It led to the development of the United Nations. Answer: B. It was a crucial aerial conflict that prevented Germany from invading Britain. The Battle of Britain in 1940 was a key moment in World War II, marking the first major military campaign fought entirely by air forces. Question 10. What role did the UK play in the formation of the League of Nations? A. It was primarily opposed to its formation. B. It was a founding member and strong advocate for international peace. C. It joined only under pressure from the USA. D. It played a minor role and left soon after it was established. Answer: B. It was a founding member and strong advocate for international peace. The UK was instrumental in the establishment of the League of Nations after World War I, aiming to maintain peace through international cooperation. Question 11. Detail the contributions of Britain to the abolition of the slave trade. A. Britain was the last major country to abolish slavery. B. British activists and politicians played a central role in ending the slave trade in the early 19th century. C. Britain had no significant role in the abolition movement. D. The abolition was primarily driven by economic factors unrelated to moral or humanitarian concerns. Answer: B. British activists and politicians played a central role in ending the slave trade in the early 19th century. Figures such as William Wilberforce led campaigns that culminated in the Slavery Abolition Act 1833. Question 12. What was the Beveridge Report and how did it transform British society? A. It was a military strategy document during World War II. B. It outlined social insurance programs that laid the groundwork for the modern welfare state. C. It criticized the government's handling of economic policies. D. It was a financial report that led to significant tax reforms. Answer: B. It outlined social insurance programs that laid the groundwork for the modern welfare state. The Beveridge Report proposed comprehensive reforms to tackle want, disease, ignorance, squalor, and idleness, leading to the establishment of the welfare state. Question 13. Who was involved in the Gunpowder Plot and what was their objective? A. Catholic conspirators, including Guy Fawkes, aiming to blow up the House of Lords and kill King James I. B. Protestant reformers seeking to overthrow the Catholic Church. C. Foreign diplomats plotting to invade England. D. Royalists attempting to restore the monarchy. Answer: A. Catholic conspirators, including Guy Fawkes, aiming to blow up the House of Lords and kill King James I. The Gunpowder Plot of 1605 was a failed attempt by Catholic extremists to destabilize the government by assassinating the king and members of Parliament. Question 14. What does the term Pax Britannica refer to? A. The period of colonial expansion under Queen Victoria. B. The economic policies of the British Empire in the 19th century. C. A period of relative peace in Europe and the world overseen by the British Empire. D. The peace treaties that concluded the Napoleonic Wars. Answer: C. A period of relative peace in Europe and the world overseen by the British Empire. Pax Britannica was marked by the British Empire's dominance in global affairs and relative absence of expansive wars. Question 15. Explain the significance of the Corn Laws and their repeal. A. The laws protected British agriculture, but their repeal in 1846 led to free trade and cheaper food prices. B. They established the UK's first income tax. C. Their introduction led to the American Revolution. D. The repeal resulted in the UK losing its colonies. Answer: A. The laws protected British agriculture, but their repeal in 1846 led to free trade and cheaper food prices. The Corn Laws were tariffs and restrictions on imported grain, and their repeal marked a significant move towards free trade. Question 16. What was the impact of the Thatcherite reforms on the British economy? A. They led to a decline in industrial production and economic recession. B. They resulted in significant economic deregulation, privatization of state-owned enterprises, and reduction of the power of trade unions. C. They introduced the euro as the UK's currency. D. They increased government regulation and public ownership of businesses. Answer: B. They resulted in significant economic deregulation, privatization of state-owned enterprises, and reduction of the power of trade unions. The Thatcherite reforms fundamentally changed the British economy, promoting a market-driven approach and reducing the influence of the state. Question 17. Describe the circumstances leading up to the signing of the Maastricht Treaty. A. It was signed immediately after World War II to establish peace in Europe. B. It followed the fall of the Berlin Wall and aimed to foster European integration. C. It was a response to the economic crisis of the 1970s. D. It was drafted to address the issues arising from the UK's decision to leave the European Union. Answer: B. It followed the fall of the Berlin Wall and aimed to foster European integration. The Maastricht Treaty, signed in 1992, was crucial in the formation of the European Union and represented a significant deepening of European integration. Question 18. What are the Crown dependencies and what is their relationship with the UK? A. They are former colonies that have opted to remain under British sovereignty. B. Independent countries that share the British monarch as their head of state. C. Territories that are not part of the UK, but for which the UK is responsible for defence and international representation. D. Members of the European Union that use the British pound. Answer. C. Territories that are not part of the UK, but for which the UK is responsible for defence and international representation. The Crown dependencies include the Isle of Man and the Channel Islands, which have their own legislative and taxation systems, but rely on the UK for foreign policy and defence. Question 19. Detail the origins and implications of the Commonwealth of Nations. A. Originated from the British Empire, it fosters international cooperation and trade between member states. B. It was created after World War II to prevent future global conflicts. C. A political union formed to challenge the economic dominance of the United States and China. D. Formed as a result of the Treaty of Versailles to administer former German colonies. Answer. A. Originated from the British Empire, it fosters international cooperation and trade between member states. The Commonwealth of Nations is a political association of mostly former British colonies that promotes values such as democracy, human rights, and economic development. Question 20. Who was Emmeline Pankhurst, and what was her contribution to British society? A. A British queen who established the first schools for girls. B. A leading suffragette who campaigned vigorously for women's right to vote. C. The first female Prime Minister of the UK. D. An artist who led the British cultural renaissance. Answer. B. A leading suffragette who campaigned vigorously for women's right to vote. Emmeline Pankhurst was a crucial figure in the British suffrage movement, known for her leadership and advocacy that significantly advanced women's rights in the UK. Question 21. What were the main outcomes of the Treaty of Union 1707? A. It created a unified army between England and Scotland. B. It marked the beginning of the British Empire. C. It unified England and Scotland into the Kingdom of Great Britain. D. It established the Commonwealth of Nations. Answer. C. It unified England and Scotland into the Kingdom of Great Britain. The Treaty of Union 1707 was a pivotal agreement that resulted in the political unification of the kingdoms of England and Scotland under the name of Great Britain. Question 22. Explain the concept of responsible government in the UK context. A. It refers to the government's responsibility to the monarch. B. It denotes a system where governmental ministers are accountable to Parliament and through it to the public. C. It is a system where the government is responsible for maintaining the royal family. D. It implies that the government has fiscal responsibility only. Answer. B. It denotes a system where governmental ministers are accountable to Parliament and through it to the public. Responsible government is a foundation of parliamentary democracy in the UK, ensuring that those who make decisions are accountable to elected representatives. Question 23. What led to the formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland in 1922? A. The dissolution of the Commonwealth. B. The Irish War of Independence and the subsequent partition of Ireland. C. The unification of Scotland and England. D. The Act of Union with Wales. Answer: B. The Irish War of Independence and the subsequent partition of Ireland. The formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland occurred following the partition of Ireland in 1922, which left Northern Ireland as part of the UK. Question 24. Discuss the impact of the Winter of Discontent on British politics. A. It led to the end of the monarchy. B. It resulted in significant public sector strikes and is widely credited with contributing to the Conservative electoral victory in 1979. C. It triggered the UK's entry into the European Economic Community. D. It caused the UK to adopt the euro. Answer: B. It resulted in significant public sector strikes and is widely credited with contributing to the Conservative electoral victory in 1979. The Winter of Discontent marked a critical period of industrial unrest, influencing the political landscape significantly. Question 25. What is the West Lothian question? A. A query about the eligibility of Scottish MPs to vote on English laws. B. A question regarding the independence of Wales. C. A financial query related to Northern Irish budget allocations. D. A legal question about the powers of the House of Lords. Answer: A. A query about the eligibility of Scottish MPs to vote on English laws. The West Lothian question addresses the issue of MPs from Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland voting on matters that affect only England. Question 26. What were the main stipulations of the Good Friday Agreement? A. It was an agreement to join the European Union. B. It outlined the UK's plans for leaving the EU. C. It was a peace agreement aimed at ending the conflict in Northern Ireland. D. It established economic ties with the Commonwealth. Answer: C. It was a peace agreement aimed at ending the conflict in Northern Ireland. The Good Friday Agreement of 1998 was a major political development that helped bring an end to the troubles in Northern Ireland. Question 27. How did the British Empire influence international trade laws? A. By imposing strict tariffs on all foreign goods. B. Through the dominance of the Royal Navy, which enforced open trade routes. C. By eliminating all forms of international trade. D. Through the establishment of the World Trade Organization. Answer: B. Through the dominance of the Royal Navy, which enforced open trade routes. The British Empire significantly influenced global trade practices, particularly through naval dominance, which ensured the security of trade routes and facilitated the flow of goods globally. Question 28. What was the role of the British East India Company in the expansion of the British Empire? A. It served purely as a cultural exchange program. B. It was a commercial enterprise that played a key role in the colonial expansion in India. C. It focused only on educational reforms in the British Isles. D. It was a military group that defended the British Isles from invasions. Answer B. It was a commercial enterprise that played a key role in the colonial expansion in India. The British East India Company was instrumental in establishing British dominance in India through trade and later territorial control. Question 29. Who were the suffragettes and what methods did they use to achieve their goals? A. They were a group of artists promoting British culture. B. They were women activists who used militant techniques like hunger strikes and public protests to gain women's suffrage. C. They were a political party focused on economic reforms. D. They were diplomats involved in the League of Nations. Answer B. They were women activists who used militant techniques like hunger strikes and public protests to gain women's suffrage. The suffragettes were key players in the campaign for women's voting rights in the UK. Question 30. What is the significance of the Battle of Waterloo in British history? A. It marked the beginning of the British Empire. B. It was the final defeat of Napoleon by the British-led coalition, ending his rule. C. It led to the UK's involvement in World War I. D. It resulted in the loss of the American colonies. Answer B. It was the final defeat of Napoleon by the British-led coalition, ending his rule. The Battle of Waterloo in 1815 is significant as it marked the end of the Napoleonic Wars and solidified the UK's role as a leading European power. Question 31. Describe the impact of the Industrial Revolution on British society. A. It led to a decrease in urbanization. B. It resulted in significant technological and economic advancements, transforming agricultural society into an industrial powerhouse. C. It caused the UK to lose its colonies. D. It had little impact on economic and social structures. Answer B. It resulted in significant technological and economic advancements, transforming agricultural society into an industrial powerhouse. The Industrial Revolution began in Britain and had profound effects on the social, economic, and cultural conditions of the times. Question 32. What triggered the decolonization process after World War II? A. The immediate financial prosperity of the colonies. B. The rise of nationalist movements within the colonies and pressure from international bodies. C. The discovery of new trade routes. D. A decision by the United Nations to dismantle all empires. Answer B. The rise of nationalist movements within the colonies and pressure from international bodies. Post-World War II, decolonization was largely driven by the desire for self-determination among colonized peoples and changing international attitudes towards imperialism. Question 33. Explain the role of the UK in the creation of the United Nations. A. The UK opposed the creation of the United Nations. B. The UK was among the principal architects and founding members of the United Nations, aimed at promoting international peace and security. C. The UK joined only after significant amendments were made. D. The UK played a minor role with no significant contributions. Answer: B. The UK was among the principal architects and founding members of the United Nations, aimed at promoting international peace and security. The UK played a significant role in shaping the structure and mission of the UN, following the devastation of World War II. Question 34. What was the special relationship between the UK and the USA? A. A trade agreement signed in the late 20th century. B. An informal term describing the strong political, cultural, economic, and historical relations between the two nations. C. A military alliance during the Cold War. D. A legal agreement regarding nuclear weapons development. Answer: B. An informal term describing the strong political, cultural, economic, and historical relations between the two nations. The special relationship is a term often used to describe the exceptionally close political, diplomatic, cultural, economic, military, and historical relations between the UK and the USA, particularly after World War II. Question 35. How did the UK's role change within the European Union over time? A. It transitioned from a founding member to leaving the organisation. B. It increasingly took on a leading role in legislative development. C. It remained isolated and uninvolved in EU affairs. D. It shifted from opposition to full integration, including adopting the euro. Answer: A. It transitioned from a founding member to leaving the organisation. The UK's relationship with the EU evolved from being one of the later members to join in 1973 to voting to leave the Union in 2016, reflecting changing political and public sentiments towards European integration. Question 36. What are the legal and constitutional implications of the Human Rights Act 1998? A. It restricted freedoms and rights within the UK. B. It made the European Convention on Human Rights a part of UK law, thus ensuring that individuals could enforce their rights in the UK courts. C. It abolished older UK laws on human rights. D. It created the UK's first written constitution. Answer: B. It made the European Convention on Human Rights a part of UK law, thus ensuring that individuals could enforce their rights in the UK courts. The Human Rights Act 1998 was a significant development in UK law, bringing it into line with the protections offered by the European Convention on Human Rights. Question 37. What was the Chilcot Inquiry, and what were its findings? A. An investigation into the UK's role in the global financial crisis, finding that regulations had been inadequately enforced. B. A public inquiry into the UK's participation in the Iraq War, concluding that the invasion was based on flawed intelligence and that the aftermath was poorly handled. C. A study on the impacts of climate change in the UK, urging immediate action. D. An inquiry into the UK's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. Answer: B. A public inquiry into the UK's participation in the Iraq War, concluding that the invasion was based on flawed intelligence and that the aftermath was poorly handled. The Chilcot Inquiry provided a critical examination of the decision-making process that led to the UK's involvement in Iraq and the lessons that should be learned. Question 38. Discuss the impact of New Labour under Tony Blair. A. It marked a return to traditional socialist policies. B. It led to the privatization of major state-owned industries. C. It introduced policies that moved the Labour Party towards the centre-right, emphasising a third way between traditional socialism and capitalism. D. It dissolved the Labour Party and led to the formation of a new political party. Answer C. It introduced policies that moved the Labour Party towards the centre-right, emphasising a third way between traditional socialism and capitalism. New Labour under Tony Blair rebranded the Labour Party, adopting more centrist policies and reforming areas such as welfare and public services. Question 39. How has Scottish nationalism influenced UK politics? A. It has had minimal impact, with little change in political policies. B. It has led to significant constitutional debates and discussions on the devolution of powers and potential independence. C. It resulted in the disbandment of the Scottish Parliament. D. It focused primarily on economic reforms with no interest in political autonomy. Answer B. It has led to significant constitutional debates and discussions on the devolution of powers and potential independence. Scottish nationalism has been a significant force in UK politics, influencing discussions on governance and the future of the Union between Scotland and the rest of the UK. Question 40. What was the significance of the Battle of Agincourt? A. It was a major Scottish victory over the English. B. It was a pivotal English victory in the 100 Years' War against France. C. It led to the end of the British Empire. D. It was the last battle fought on British soil. Answer B. It was a pivotal English victory in the 100 Years' War against France. The Battle of Agincourt in 1415 is famous for the use of the English longbow, which helped secure a significant victory against a numerically superior French army. Question 41. How did the Black Death affect medieval England? A. It led to significant population growth by introducing new medicines. B. It caused major economic and social upheavals due to a massive decrease in population. C. It had little impact on the society or economy. D. It improved living conditions by decreasing overcrowding. Answer B. It caused major economic and social upheavals due to a massive decrease in population. The Black Death, which swept through medieval England in the mid-14th century, drastically reduced the population, leading to severe labour shortages and significant shifts in social and economic structures. Question 42. Describe the Peasants' Revolt and its impact on English society. A. It led to the overthrow of the monarchy and established a peasant rule. B. It was a successful uprising that resulted in improved rights for serfs. C. It was a major uprising in 1381 that, despite its failure, led to eventual reforms and the decline of serfdom. D. It had no significant impact and was quickly forgotten. Answer C. It was a major uprising in 1381 that, despite its failure, led to eventual reforms and the decline of serfdom. The Peasants' Revolt was triggered by socio-economic pressures and harsh taxation, highlighting the tensions between the peasantry and the ruling class. Question 43. What role did the Magna Carta play in the development of British democracy? A. It established the first Parliament. B. It was primarily a financial document with no impact on democracy. C. It laid foundational principles for legal limits on monarchy and rights for citizens. D. It was a peace treaty between rival kingdoms. Answer: C. It laid foundational principles for legal limits on monarchy and rights for citizens. The Magna Carta, signed in 1215, is celebrated as a cornerstone of constitutional law, emphasizing the rule of law and the need for king's governance to be bound by legal standards. Question 44. Explain the significance of the Bill of Rights 1689 in shaping the constitutional framework of the UK. A. It established the first formal constitution in the world. B. It confirmed the rights and liberties of individuals and set limits on the powers of the Crown. C. It detailed the rights of colonies under British rule. D. It provided universal suffrage for all citizens. Answer: B. It confirmed the rights and liberties of individuals and set limits on the powers of the Crown. The Bill of Rights 1689 is a landmark act that asserted the supremacy of Parliament over the monarchy, forming a key part of the uncodified constitution of the UK. Question 45. What are the Puritan ethics and how did they influence English society? A. They promoted a lavish lifestyle and were largely insignificant. B. They emphasized hard work, piety, and simplicity, significantly influencing societal norms and attitudes. C. They encouraged artistic expression and tolerance. D. They were focused on establishing military discipline. Answer: B. They emphasize hard work, piety, and simplicity, significantly influencing societal norms and attitudes. Puritan ethics, which emerged during the 16th and 17th centuries, had a profound impact on English culture and were instrumental in shaping aspects of social conduct and governance. Question 46. Detail the role of Britain during the Cold War. A. It acted as a mediator between the USA and the USSR. B. It was primarily aligned with Soviet policies. C. It played a key role as a member of NATO opposing Soviet influence. D. It remained neutral throughout the period. Answer: C. It played a key role as a member of NATO opposing Soviet influence. Britain was a significant player in the Cold War, aligning closely with the United States and other Western nations against the spread of communism, underscored by events such as the Berlin airlift and the establishment of NATO. Question 47. How did the war trade impact the economy of medieval England? A. It had no significant impact. B. It was a minor part of the economy focused on local markets. C. It was a major driver of economic growth, leading to the prosperity of numerous English towns. D. It led to economic decline due to over-reliance on a single industry. Answer: C. It was a major driver of economic growth, leading to the prosperity of numerous English towns. The wool trade was one of medieval England's most lucrative economic activities, contributing significantly to its wealth and the development of international trade. Question 48. What led to the establishment of the Bank of England? A. The need for a national military bank. B. The necessity of funding naval explorations. C. The requirement to manage the government's debt and create a stable financial system. D. The desire to privatize national wealth. Answer: C. The requirement to manage the government's debt and create a stable financial system. The Bank of England was established in 1694 to act as the government's banker, managing its debts and stabilizing the currency, crucial in a period of economic expansion and frequent wars. Question 49. Discuss the causes and consequences of the Jacobite risings. A. The risings were primarily economic protests against trade laws. B. They were attempts to restore James II and his descendants to the British throne, leading to significant military conflicts and political tensions. C. They resulted in the establishment of parliamentary democracy. D. They had no significant long-term impacts. Answer: B. They were attempts to restore James II and his descendants to the British throne, leading to significant military conflicts and political tensions. The Jacobite risings were a series of rebellions that had profound effects on British politics, reinforcing the power of the Hanoverian monarchy. Question 50. What is the significance of the Acts of Union 1800? A. They unified the kingdoms of England and Scotland. B. They established the Commonwealth of Nations. C. They merged the Kingdom of Great Britain with the Kingdom of Ireland to form the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. D. They initiated the Industrial Revolution. Answer: C. They merged the Kingdom of Great Britain with the Kingdom of Ireland to form the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. The Acts of Union 1800 were crucial in creating a political union that included Ireland under the British Crown, although it later led to significant Irish nationalist movements. Question 51. How did the Napoleonic Wars affect the UK? A. They had little impact as the UK was not involved. B. They brought economic prosperity as a result of wartime production. C. They strained British resources but ultimately confirmed Britain's naval supremacy and expanded its influence. D. They led to the UK losing several colonies. Answer: C. They strained British resources, but ultimately confirmed Britain's naval supremacy and expanded its influence. The Napoleonic Wars were a testing time for the UK, involving significant military and financial commitments, but they also solidified its status as a preeminent global power. Question 52. What reforms were implemented by the Parliament Act 1911? A. It introduced the first social welfare policies. B. It allowed for the redistribution of land. C. It reduced the power of the House of Lords, restricting its ability to veto legislation passed by the House of Commons. D. It established the modern parliamentary system. Answer: C. It reduced the power of the House of Lords, restricting its ability to veto legislation passed by the House of Commons. The Parliament Act 1911 was a key step in the development of the UK's constitutional structure, addressing the balance of power between the two Houses of Parliament. Question 53. Discuss the significance of the UK's opt-out from the Eurozone. A. It allowed the UK to maintain control over its monetary policy. B. It isolated the UK economically and politically from the rest of Europe. C. It was a temporary measure with no long-term effects. D. It led to the UK's immediate economic decline. Answer: A. It allowed the UK to maintain control over its monetary policy. The decision to opt out from adopting the euro as currency allowed the UK to retain the pound sterling and maintain independent control of its monetary policies, which has been a point of significant political and economic debate. Question 54. What was the impact of the Great Famine on the population of Ireland? A. It had minimal impact due to effective government intervention. B. It led to significant population growth through immigration. C. It caused massive suffering and emigration, significantly reducing the population. D. It improved economic conditions by reducing overpopulation. Answer: C. It caused massive suffering and emigration, significantly reducing the population. The Great Famine in the mid-19th century had devastating effects on Ireland, leading to widespread starvation and a massive exodus of people, profoundly shaping Irish history and relations with the UK. Question 55. Who was the last British monarch to exercise effective political power? A. Queen Elizabeth II. B. King George III. C. Queen Victoria. D. King William IV. Answer: B. King George III. Often considered the last British monarch to wield substantial personal influence over government policy, King George III's reign saw significant political, colonial, and international challenges. Question 56. Explain the origins and outcomes of the English Reformation. A. It began as a political dispute over control of the English Church, resulting in the establishment of the Church of England independent of the Pope. B. It was solely a movement to reform religious practices and doctrines. C. It resulted in the immediate unification of all Christian denominations in England. D. It had no significant outcomes, as it was quickly reversed. Answer: A. It began as a political dispute over control of the English Church, resulting in the establishment of the Church of England independent of the Pope. The English Reformation was initiated by Henry VIII due to personal and political conflicts with the papacy, fundamentally transforming religious and political life in England. Question 57. How did the Victorian era shape modern Britain? A. It was marked by a decline in industrial and scientific advancements. B. It was characterized by significant industrial, cultural, and scientific progress, shaping the UK into a modern state. C. It isolated Britain from the rest of the world. D. It focused mainly on agricultural development. Answer: B. It was characterized by significant industrial, cultural, and scientific progress, shaping the UK into a modern state. The Victorian era is known for its dramatic expansion in industry, infrastructure, and empire, as well as cultural and scientific achievements that laid the foundations of today's Britain. Question 58. What were the main factors leading to the establishment of devolution in the UK? A. The immediate financial benefits it offered to the central government. B. Demands for greater local governance in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland due to distinct cultural and political identities. C. The lack of interest in national politics. D. The pressure from neighboring countries. Answer B. Demands for greater local governance in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland due to distinct cultural and political identities. Devolution in the UK was largely driven by the desire to allow different regions to exercise greater control over their affairs, recognizing their unique cultural and historical contexts. Question 59. What are the key features of the British electoral system? A. It is based on proportional representation. B. It uses a first-past-the-post system for most elections, which tends to favour a two-party system. C. It allows all residents, regardless of citizenship, to vote. D. It mandates compulsory voting. Answer B. It uses a first-past-the-post system for most elections, which tends to favour a two-party system. The British electoral system, particularly for the House of Commons, uses this method where the candidate with the most votes in each constituency wins a seat, influencing the overall political landscape. Question 60. Discuss the changes brought about by the welfare state post-World War II. A. It led to the dismantling of all social services. B. It introduced significant social reforms, including the creation of the National Health Service and expansion of social security. C. It privatized healthcare and education. D. It had no impact on social policies. Answer B. It introduced significant social reforms, including the creation of the National Health Service and expansion of social security. The establishment of the welfare state under the post-war Labour government marked a major transformation in British society, aiming to provide comprehensive health, education, and welfare support from cradle to grave. Question 61. What was the Blitz and how did it affect Britain during World War II? A. A strategic military campaign by the UK to retake lost territories. B. A series of intense bombing raids by Germany on Britain, causing widespread destruction and civilian hardship. C. A peaceful protest movement against wartime policies. D. An economic policy implemented to boost war production. Answer B. A series of intense bombing raids by Germany on Britain, causing widespread destruction and civilian hardship. The Blitz involved heavy and frequent bombing raids on London and other cities, profoundly affecting civilian life and symbolizing British resilience and unity in adversity. Question 62. Explain the significance of the Cabinet War Rooms during World War II. A. They served as the top-secret headquarters for the British Navy. B. They were public shelters for civilians during air raids. C. They were the fortified underground headquarters where Winston Churchill and his cabinet directed the war effort. D. They were used for storing weapons and ammunition. Answer C. They were the fortified underground headquarters where Winston Churchill and his cabinet directed the war effort. The Cabinet War Rooms are now an iconic historical site, highlighting their crucial role in strategic wartime leadership. Question 63. How has the UK contributed to international peacekeeping efforts? A. By remaining neutral in all international conflicts. B. Through significant diplomatic and military roles in various United Nations peacekeeping missions. C. by providing financial support only, without involving military forces. D. The UK has not participated in any peacekeeping efforts. Answer: B. Through significant diplomatic and military roles in various United Nations peacekeeping missions, the UK has played a proactive role in promoting global peace and security, participating in numerous peacekeeping operations around the world. Question 64. What is the royal prerogative and how is it applied in modern governance? A. It refers to the monarchy's absolute power over the government. B. It involves the powers traditionally held by the monarch, but now exercised by or on the advice of government ministers. C. It is the right of the Parliament to govern without the monarchy's interference. D. It grants the public the power to veto government decisions. Answer: B. It involves the powers traditionally held by the monarch, but now exercised by or on the advice of government ministers. The royal prerogative includes powers such as issuing or withdrawing passports and appointing ministers, largely exercised under the constitutional conventions of the modern UK. Question 65. Discuss the historical relationship between the UK and the Commonwealth realms. A. The Commonwealth realms are former Soviet states that formed an economic alliance with the UK. B. They are countries that share a historical connection with the British Empire and have the British monarch as their ceremonial head of state. C. They are part of a military alliance led by the UK. D. They are regions within the UK that have autonomous governance. Answer: B. They are countries that share a historical connection with the British Empire and have the British monarch as their ceremonial head of state. The Commonwealth realms maintain a symbolic link with the UK through shared institutions and the monarchy, reflecting their historical and cultural connections. Question 66. What is judicial review in the context of the UK legal system? A. A regular review of judges' performance by the government. B. The process by which courts interpret the legality of laws and executive actions. C. A public opinion survey on the judiciary's effectiveness. D. An annual financial audit of the judicial system. Answer: B. The process by which courts interpret the legality of laws and executive actions. Judicial review is a fundamental mechanism in the UK for ensuring that governmental actions are lawful and that public bodies do not exceed their powers. Question 67. Explain the role of the Privy Council in the UK governance system. A. It serves as the primary legislative body. B. It is a ceremonial body with no real power. C. It advises the monarch and serves as a court of final appeal for many Commonwealth countries. D. It manages the UK's overseas territories. Answer: C. It advises the monarch and serves as a court of final appeal for many Commonwealth countries. The Privy Council has various functions, including its judicial role as the highest court of appeal for several independent Commonwealth countries and some UK overseas territories. Question 68. What were the causes and effects of the British Agricultural Revolution? A. It was caused by a decline in agricultural practices and led to decreased food production. B. It involved innovations and improvements in agricultural practices, leading to increased productivity and supporting population growth. C. It resulted from high tariffs on grain imports and primarily benefited landowners. D. It was triggered by a series of famines and led to the abandonment of traditional farming. Answer B. It involved innovations and improvements in agricultural practices, leading to increased productivity and supporting population growth. The British Agricultural Revolution was a period of significant change in farming methods that increased yields and efficiency, helping fuel the Industrial Revolution. Question 69. What role did Britain play in the Treaty of Versailles? A. It was a mediator with no direct interests in the treaty outcomes. B. It opposed the treaty, favouring a continuation of the war. C. It was one of the principal Allied powers and played a significant role in shaping the peace terms imposed on Germany. D. It signed the treaty under protest as it preferred harsher terms for Germany. Answer C. It was one of the principal Allied powers and played a significant role in shaping the peace terms imposed on Germany. Britain, alongside France and the United States, was instrumental in the negotiations that led to the Treaty of Versailles, which formally ended World War I. Question 70. Discuss the significance of the British Nationality Act 1981. A. It established the criteria for British citizenship, including birthright and naturalisation processes. B. It abolished the citizenship of all non-native residents. C. It restricted immigration from non-Commonwealth countries only. D. It provided automatic citizenship to all Commonwealth citizens. Answer A. It established the criteria for British citizenship, including birthright and naturalisation processes. The British Nationality Act 1981 was a comprehensive redefinition of British nationality law, which clarified the distinctions between different classes of British nationality and laid down the requirements for citizenship. Question 71. How did the Iron Curtain speech by Winston Churchill impact the Cold War? A. It softened relations between the East and West. B. It was ignored and had no significant impact. C. It marked the first public recognition of the divide between Eastern and Western Europe, intensifying the ideological battle of the Cold War. D. It led to immediate military confrontations between NATO and Warsaw Pact forces. Answer C. It marked the first public recognition of the divide between Eastern and Western Europe, intensifying the ideological battle of the Cold War. Churchill's speech in 1946 coined the term Iron Curtain and highlighted the emerging geopolitical divisions that would define the Cold War era. Question 72. What are the implications of the UK's nuclear deterrent programme? A. It has led to widespread domestic opposition and the dismantling of all nuclear capabilities. B. It aims to maintain international peace and deter threats through the possession of nuclear weapons. C. It is focused solely on energy production. D. It prohibits the UK from participating in any international arms control agreements. Answer B. It aims to maintain international peace and deter threats through the possession of nuclear weapons. The UK's nuclear deterrent, primarily through its Trident missile system, plays a central role in its defence strategy, aiming to deter major threats and contribute to global stability. Question 73. How did the swinging 60s influence British culture? A. It was marked by conservative attitudes and policies that restricted cultural expressions. B. The era was characterized by significant cultural liberation, innovations in music and fashion, and progressive social changes. C. It saw a return to Victorian values. D. It focused on the resurgence of classical arts. Answer: B. The era was characterized by significant cultural liberation, innovations in music and fashion, and progressive social changes. The swinging 60s was a period of dynamic change in the UK, with London at the heart of new youth-oriented cultures that influenced global trends. Question 74. What led to the decriminalisation of homosexuality in the UK? A. There was no official decriminalisation. Changes were purely societal. B. It was part of the conditions for entering the European Economic Community. C. It followed a series of high-profile trials and public debates, culminating in legal changes in 1967. D. It occurred immediately after World War II due to international pressure. Answer: C. It followed a series of high-profile trials and public debates, culminating in legal changes in 1967. The Sexual Offences Act 1967 decriminalised homosexual acts in private between two men, aged 21 or over, marking a significant liberalisation of the law regarding homosexuality in the UK. Question 75. Discuss the role of the Royal Navy in shaping the British Empire. A. The Royal Navy played a minor role, with the British Army leading most overseas expansions. B. It was pivotal in establishing and maintaining British trade routes and colonial possessions, asserting maritime dominance. C. The Navy was mainly involved in exploration and had no role in defence or trade. D. It opposed imperial expansion and focused on domestic defence. Answer: B. It was pivotal in establishing and maintaining British trade routes and colonial possessions, asserting maritime dominance. The Royal Navy was crucial in protecting the Empire's trade routes and enforcing British influence globally, significantly shaping the history and breadth of the British Empire. Question 76. How has immigration shaped modern British society? A. It has had little to no impact on British culture or demographics. B. Immigration has contributed to the UK's economic growth, cultural diversity, and has shaped its social policies. C. It has been uniformly resisted throughout modern history. D. It led to the immediate closure of all borders. Answer: B. Immigration has contributed to the UK's economic growth, cultural diversity, and has shaped its social policies. The UK's demographic landscape has been profoundly influenced by waves of immigration, enriching its cultural tapestry and playing a key role in its economic activities. Question 77. What was the impact of the Falklands War on British foreign policy? A. It led to a permanent military presence in the Falklands and reinforced the UK's commitment to defending its overseas territories. B. It resulted in the UK relinquishing all overseas territories. C. It had no noticeable impact on foreign policy. D. It triggered the UK's withdrawal from NATO. Answer: A. It led to a permanent military presence in the Falklands and reinforced the UK's commitment to defending its overseas territories. The Falklands War of 1982 was a significant moment for British foreign policy, underlining its readiness to defend its interests and the strategic importance of the Falklands. Question 78. How did the financial crisis of 2008 affect the UK? A. It resulted in rapid economic growth due to increased global investments. B. The crisis led to significant economic downturns, prompting government interventions and austerity measures. C. It had no effect on the UK economy. D. It exclusively affected the housing market with no broader economic consequences. Answer: B. The crisis led to significant economic downturns, prompting government interventions and austerity measures. The 2008 financial crisis had a profound impact on the UK economy, leading to recessions, bailouts of banks, and subsequent austerity policies that aimed to stabilize and recover the economic system. Question 79. What are the challenges and benefits of the UK's multiculturalism? A. Challenges include social integration and racial tensions. Benefits include cultural enrichment and economic dynamism. B. There are no challenges, only benefits. C. The only challenge is economic cost. There are no cultural or social benefits. D. Multiculturalism has led to the loss of British cultural identity with no benefits. Answer: A. Challenges include social integration and racial tensions. Benefits include cultural enrichment and economic dynamism. While multiculturalism in the UK has faced issues such as integration and occasional xenophobia, it has also brought substantial cultural diversity and vitality to British society, enhancing its global city status and economic innovation. Question 80. Discuss the impact of digital technology on the UK's media landscape. A. It has led to a decrease in information access and a return to traditional media. B. Digital technology has revolutionized the media landscape, fostering greater diversity of voices and altering consumption habits. C. It has had no impact on the media or cultural consumption. D. It has eliminated all traditional forms of media. Answer: B. Digital technology has revolutionized the media landscape, fostering greater diversity of voices and altering consumption habits. The advent of digital technology has transformed how media is produced, consumed, and distributed in the UK, leading to challenges for traditional media outlets and opportunities for new forms of interactive and personalized media. Question 81. What are the ongoing debates about the UK's healthcare system? A. Whether to fully privatise the National Health Service, NHS. B. The challenges of funding and efficiency in the NHS and the impact of privatisation. C. There are no significant debates. The system is universally accepted. D. Debates on reducing medical research and focusing only on patient care. Answer: B. The challenges of funding and efficiency in the NHS and the impact of privatisation. The UK's healthcare system, particularly the NHS, faces ongoing debates regarding funding, sustainability, efficiency, and the extent of private sector involvement. Question 82. How has British literature influenced global culture? A. It has had minimal impact outside of the UK. B. British literature has played a pivotal role in shaping world literature, with figures like Shakespeare and genres like the English novel having profound impacts. C. It is considered outdated and has been replaced by other literatures. D. British literature has solely impacted the English language, not culture globally. Answer: B. British literature has played a pivotal role in shaping world literature, with figures like Shakespeare and genres like the English novel having profound impacts. The influence extends beyond the literary world, affecting arts, philosophy, and even political thoughts globally. Question 83. What is the controversy surrounding the UK's surveillance laws? A. The laws are universally praised and have no controversy. B. The debate centres around the balance between national security needs and the protection of individual privacy rights. C. The controversy is about the UK's use of surveillance to monitor weather patterns. D. The laws are controversial because they prohibit any form of surveillance. Answer: B. The debate centres around the balance between national security needs and the protection of individual privacy rights. The UK's surveillance laws, particularly those expanded under the Investigatory Powers Act, have sparked significant public and legal debates about privacy and security. Question 84. How did the UK handle the transition from an empire to a member of the international community post-World War II? A. By isolating itself from international affairs. B. The transition involved decolonization processes and adapting to a new role in a world shaped by Cold War dynamics. C. The UK continued to maintain its empire status without change. D. It shifted focus exclusively to domestic issues, ignoring international developments. Answer: B. The transition involved decolonization processes and adapting to a new role in a world shaped by Cold War dynamics. Post-World War II, the UK had to manage the decline of its empire and redefine its international position, including a new emphasis on its relationship with Europe and the Commonwealth. Question 85. Discuss the impact of Brexit on UK trade relations. A. Brexit has had no impact on trade relations. B. Brexit led to enhanced free trade agreements with all global nations immediately. C. Brexit has resulted in the renegotiation of trade agreements and has presented both challenges and opportunities in forming new trade relationships. D. Brexit has universally improved economic conditions in the UK and abroad. Answer: C. Brexit has resulted in the renegotiation of trade agreements and has presented both challenges and opportunities in forming new trade relationships. The departure from the EU necessitated the establishment of new bilateral trade agreements, affecting everything from tariffs to regulatory alignments. Question 86. What challenges does the UK face regarding climate change? A. There are no recognized challenges related to climate change in the UK. B. Major challenges include managing increased flooding, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and transitioning to renewable energy sources. C. The only challenge is the public's resistance to acknowledging climate change. D. Climate change is seen as beneficial to the UK, presenting no challenges. Answer: B. Major challenges include managing increased flooding, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and transitioning to renewable energy sources. The UK faces significant environmental impacts due to climate change, prompting governmental and public initiatives towards sustainability. Question 87. What legal protections are afforded to minority groups in the UK? A. There are no specific legal protections for minority groups. B. Minority groups are protected under comprehensive laws like the Equality Act 2010, which prohibits discrimination based on race, religion, and other characteristics. C. Legal protections are only provided to religious minorities. D. Minorities are protected by international laws, not UK laws. Answer B. Minority groups are protected under comprehensive laws like the Equality Act 2010, which prohibits discrimination based on race, religion, and other characteristics. These laws are designed to promote fairness and equality within the UK. Question 88. How has the concept of British identity evolved over the centuries? A. It has remained static and unchanged. B. The concept of British identity has evolved, influenced by historical, social, and political developments, integrating diverse cultural elements over time. C. It has become less inclusive, focusing only on historical Anglo-Saxon traits. D. British identity is now defined solely by economic status. Answer B. The concept of British identity has evolved, influenced by historical, social, and political developments, integrating diverse cultural elements over time. This evolution reflects changes in society, including migration, the empire, and shifts in political and social values. Question 89. What is the future of the monarchy in the UK? A. It is expected to be abolished within the next decade. B. The monarchy's role continues to evolve, facing both criticism and support as it adapts to modern societal expectations. C. The monarchy will revert to its historical role with increased powers. D. The monarchy will remain unchanged in any aspect. Answer B. The monarchy's role continues to evolve, facing both criticism and support as it adapts to modern societal expectations. Discussions about the relevance and role of the monarchy persist, reflecting broader societal debates about tradition and modernity. Question 90. How do public inquiries function in the UK? A. They are informal meetings with no legal standing. B. Public inquiries are formal investigations conducted to explore issues of national concern, often leading to recommendations for government action. C. They only function to investigate minor local issues. D. Public inquiries are conducted secretly and do not inform public policy. Answer B. Public inquiries are formal investigations conducted to explore issues of national concern, often leading to recommendations for government action. They are an important tool for transparency and accountability, particularly in matters of public interest or controversy. Question 91. What are the implications of artificial intelligence in governance? A. There are no implications as AI is banned in the UK. B. AI offers opportunities for improving efficiency and public services, but also raises ethical and privacy concerns that require careful management. C. AI is used exclusively for military purposes. D. AI has reduced the transparency of governance. Answer B. I offers opportunities for improving efficiency and public services, but also raises ethical and privacy concerns that require careful management. As AI becomes more integrated into various aspects of governance, balancing innovation with safeguarding citizens' rights is increasingly important. Question 92. Discuss the role of the UK in global scientific research. A. The UK has no role or contribution to global scientific research. B. The UK plays a leading role in several areas of scientific research, contributing to global efforts in health, technology, and environmental sciences. C. UK research is focused solely on industrial development. D. The UK participates in global research, but only in the humanities. Answer B. The UK plays a leading role in several areas of scientific research, contributing to global efforts in health, technology, and environmental sciences. Its universities, research institutes, and funding bodies are integral to numerous international collaborations and innovations. Question 93. How are traditional British customs being preserved or changing? A. Traditional customs are being rapidly abandoned without any preservation efforts. B. There is a dynamic balance between preserving traditional customs and adapting them to reflect contemporary values and multicultural influences. C. All traditional customs have been legally protected to remain unchanged. D. Traditional customs are preserved in museums only, not practiced. Answer B. There is a dynamic balance between preserving traditional customs and adapting them to reflect contemporary values and multicultural influences. This approach allows for the celebration of heritage while also embracing modern societal changes. Question 94. What is the impact of the UK's aging population on its economy? A. The aging population has no impact on the economy. B. It presents challenges such as increased healthcare and pension costs, potentially straining public finances and labour markets. C. It has increased the workforce dramatically. D. The aging population has led to a decrease in healthcare costs. Answer B. It presents challenges such as increased healthcare and pension costs, potentially straining public finances and labour markets. An aging population affects economic growth, consumption patterns, and the sustainability of social welfare systems. Question 95. How does the UK participate in global environmental initiatives? A. The UK is not involved in any global environmental initiatives. B. The UK actively participates in global environmental initiatives, playing a leading role in climate change negotiations and committing to emissions reductions. C. The UK only participates under pressure from other nations. D. The UK focuses solely on local environmental issues. Answer B. The UK actively participates in global environmental initiatives, playing a leading role in climate change negotiations and committing to emissions reductions. Its involvement includes hosting events like the COP26 and pushing for international collaboration on environmental issues.